how to tune your violin. So first things first, you need to have either a tuner or a tuning app on your phone. So the one I'm going to use is on my phone, and the app's name is Sound Corset. And it looks like this with a little music note. And you can download that on the App Store. So this is also a metronome app, so make sure that you are on the tuning app. It'll say tuner at the top here. So as you can see, this is picking up my voice and is telling me whether I'm in tune or not. So I'm going to start with my violin tuning the A string. Alright, I'm going to be plucking, so I'm going to pluck my A string, and I'm going to check what the tuner says. So here we go. So it says my A is in the green, but looks like it's a little bit to the left. So what I'm going to do, when it's to the left of the center, that means it's just a little bit flat. So that means the pitch is too low. So I'm going to use my fine tuning pegs, these little guys down here, to make small adjustments. This is a small adjustment because it is saying it's A, but it's just not quite on the center. So because it says it's low, I'm going to be turning my tuning peg to the right. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So here we go. I'm going to turn just a little bit, and I'm going to check my A again. Still not quite to the center. All right, so now I'm going to check again. That's a little bit closer. That's good enough for me. So that's my A. Now I'm going to check my E. So that's a little to the right of the center. So that means it's a little too high. So if it's high, I need to loosen the string to make the pitch go lower. So I'm going to use my fine tuning peg again because it's a small adjustment, and I'm going to turn it to the left, lefty-loosey. All right, and now I'm going to check that. That's pretty good. All right, now I'm going to check my D string, and that's right on. And my G string is right on as well. Okay, so that's how you use your fine tuning pegs. Remember, to tighten them, it's to the right, righty-tighty. To loosen them, it's lefty-loosey. And that's how you make those fine adjustments. Now, for the big adjustments, and this I wouldn't recommend for beginners unless you absolutely don't have a choice. The best way to do big tuning peg issues. So I'm just going to untune my violin so that you have an idea. First of all, I'm going to loosen my fine tuning pegs all the way, because you don't want, if these are all the way tight and then you start tightening up here, you're very likely to pop a string because of the tension. So I'm going to back these off all the way, lefty-loosey. So all the way to the left, and it's going to sound pretty terrible. So I'll show you what that sounds like. And I'm going to start with my A again. So I'm going to pluck my A, and this is an A flat. So that's a pitch lower, a half step lower. So now I'm going to use my A large tuning peg. That's the one all the way up here on the right. Okay, so when you're doing this, it's important to tighten really like in small increments, and because these are all like based off of tension, you need to press the tuning peg into the scroll at the same time. Otherwise, it'll just slip. So I'm pressing into the neck, and now I'm going to turn the tuning peg away from me. So still like righty-tighty. So here I go. So you hear that? Now I'm going to check my tuner. So that's a little too much. Hold on. It's A, but it's not even anywhere near the green. So what I could do is use my fine tuning pegs now. And I'm looking at my tuner over here. There we go. Now I'm right on the pitch. So the big tuning pegs, you're only using them to get you in that ballpark of the actual note, and then using your fine-tuned pegs. So that's my A. Now I'm going to check my E. And it's showing up as E flat, so I'm going to tighten again. So pressing into the neck, this is my E tuning peg, it's just under A, and you can check too, it lines up with the string. So pushing into the scroll and trying to tighten, like really small. And turning it away. There we go. Okay, so that's too high. I'm going to do the same thing, pushing in, and I'm going to turn it backwards. So my hand is moving towards me. Okay, so now I'm in that E ballpark range. I'm actually a little bit low, so I'm going to be using my fine tuning pegs to go the rest of the way. There it is. All right, checking my D, and that's a D flat, so it's too low. I'm going to tighten again. So this is the D tuning peg. It's the top of the left side here, and turning away from me, but making sure to press into the scroll at the same time. All right, so now I'm in the D pitch ball range, but now I need to, it's a little high, so I'm going to be using my fine tuning pegs to loosen up. There we go, I'm right on the pitch. And last but not least is my G string. It's not that out of tune, so I'm just gonna make it a bit out of tune. All right, so when I pluck this, it's reading as an A. So that means it's higher than G, and I need to bring it down. So I'm going to be pushing into the scroll and trying to make a very small movement, and my hand is going to be turning backwards like this to loosen. There. So I'm in A flat, so not quite there yet, I need to be in G. Now it says I'm in G flat, which is too low. And that's G, and that actually shows up right on the pitch. Okay, one really important thing I forgot to mention at the beginning, you want to make sure that your tuner is set to 440 Hertz. On this app, it automatically is, but sometimes with loose tuners, they can change, or sometimes you accidentally change it. So make sure that it's set to 440, otherwise it's not actually correct. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use my bow to make sure that they are extra in tune. And the way that works, if you've ever been to a symphony orchestra, you hear at the beginning, you have an oboe that gives the concert A, and then you hear this. And that's how we tune. So I'm going to start with my A, and I'm going to use my tuner to make sure it's 100%. And I want it right in the center. So that's my A. Now I'm going to check it with my E, and I want you to really, really listen. We want a straight sound. If it's out of tune, you'll hear a slight wobble to the sound, like a wah wah wah. If it's slow, it's only a little bit out of tune. If it's fast, it's a lot out of tune, and we have to use our ear to make sure that we're turning it the correct way. So I'm going to use my bow, and I'm going to play a double stop across 2 strings. That's pretty good. I'm going to quickly put it out of tune so you can hear what it'll sound like if it's out. So I've just tuned my A to my E. Okay, now I'm going to check my D and my A string. That sounds icky, so now I have to figure out which way it has to go. So I'm going to start by tightening it, so making my pitch go higher on the D string. So you're not, after you've established that your A is in tune, that's the note you're tuning your E and your D string to. So once that's there, you're not going to be tuning the A again. You're only changing the E or the D string. So in this case, when I'm checking my D, that's the only string I will be adjusting the pitch on. And if you're tuning and it's not getting any better, and you're going one way only, it's probably a good indication that you're turning it the wrong way. So if it's getting worse, try tightening or loosening the other way. So now that my D is in tune with my A string, I'm going to tune my G string, and I'm not adjusting D. So the only string I'm adjusting is the G string. So I'm just going to give you an example of turning it the wrong way. It's not getting any better, so that means I'm going the wrong way. There we go. Alright, so that is how you tune your violin.